Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts on how Rick will change this season in The Walking Dead now that Negan has arrived. And this question's from Kurt Jones, and he says, "Hey Trev, I'm new and like what you're doing. How do you think Rick will change after we see who Negan kills?" So, yeah, man, this one should be a lot of fun this season because it is a pretty big change for Rick and for The Walking Dead with Negan, showing up now. It's kind of similar to how it was with the Governor when you go in from Season 2 to Season 3. In Season 2, they're more focused on surviving themselves, and then with the zombies and everything that's going on in the zombie apocalypse. And then Season 3 comes in, and it adds to it, villains. It adds to it the prisoners, and it adds to it the Governor, of course. And you have kind of both communities being shown in different episodes. And then kind of the fighting between, how it leads up to both. I really love that direction and that way of telling the story. So it should be great to see in Season 7 how they kind of show some of, what's happening with Negan and the Saviors. And then they show some of, of course, Rick and the survivors. Which actually this year, maybe that's part of the reason why there isn't so much buzz after the trailer as much as there was last year. There's quite a bit this year. But with the trailer, you don't have anything new from Rick or the survivors, which are the characters, of course, that most people are really used to. Those are the ones that people are used to seeing. And, we're getting a lot of new characters now. We have Dwight, who's now a pretty big concentration as a villain. You have Negan coming in. You have the Saviors. You have the Kingdom. You have Ezekiel. So there's a lot of new characters coming in, and it's really cool for the series because as The Walking Dead is killing off so many of the, not so many, but they're killing off a good number of their characters over the seasons. They're adding in new ones, and actually the group is getting larger. The community is getting bigger and larger. It's not really getting smaller as the seasons go on, which is great to see, and it just makes it really fun and adds to it for sure. Yeah, that's City Sweeper. So I'm really excited to see how that affects Andrew Lincoln's Rick compared to the comic book series version. And that should be some of the best stuff this season, is to get to see some of the face-offs between Negan and Rick. There's some colorful language in the comic book series when Negan asks Rick to hold Lucille, and it should be really fun to see how Andrew Lincoln interprets Rick's side of things with regards to that. Negan likes to break everything down and into dicks and stuff like that, which is funny in the comic books. So it'll be funny to see how they use that in the TV series version, whether or not they keep it, exactly the same, or if they kind of change some of the language, because it's pretty colorful at some parts. Excited for the Season 6 Blu-ray DVD, which should be hitting actually pretty soon now, to hear the swearing parts and stuff from Negan. But Rick and Negan and how they're gonna interact with each other, even early on in the season. It sounds like probably in the premiere we'll get to see how they kind of are gonna cooperate or not do so. So it should be really fun. And I think that you have Morgan in there, who's affected Rick too, and maybe after Rick finds out who Negan has killed, or we see who Negan kills, then Rick will maybe doubt himself or doubt that he was doing the right thing, and maybe we'll think that maybe Morgan's right and that maybe they shouldn't always kill, and that they should be a little bit more careful. So I expect Rick to maybe come back a little bit from that, but still he's going to want to get revenge on Negan for sure. Maybe in the future he won't be so quick to kill people that he meets or that he gets into it with, but at the same time he's going to want to get revenge, of course, for what happens here, and everybody's going to hold him accountable. Everyone's going to look at him because he's the leader and he kind of got them into the mess, especially if it's Glenn, Maggie, and if it's Abraham, Sasha, or whoever else, whatever character ties they have, relationships or what have you, whoever it is, they're, the people that care about him are probably going to blame Rick because of, this whole thing happening. So it should be a great season for to see Andrew Lincoln's, Rick. Over the seasons, he doesn't have as much concentration as he used to. There's even episodes where he's not even in the episodes at all the last couple seasons, whereas earlier on that would be kind of unheard of. He'd be in pretty much every episode early on. So it should be great to see. I'm really excited to see how him and Negan banter and play off each other, and how just to see how they deal with some of this stuff. But yeah, it should be great to see how Rick is is changed by this season and what happens with Negan. I think he'll be a little bit more careful next time. So yeah, which makes sense if you look at the Whisperer's story arc in the comic books. What is he doesn't really want to get into it with the Whisperers because he knows what it could cost, right? He knows it, but nonetheless, it happens anyway. Zasmanreviews says, "Hey Trev, the episode 8 title and synopsis for Fear the Walking Dead season 2 has been released. Episode 2.08, Grotesque Nick's steadfast search for answers leads him into a deadly dog-eat-dog landscape. A dark piece of his past is uncovered." So that's going to be cool. So, the description, grotesque is a cool word for it. And if you see the promo, it looks like that's exactly what it is because he's like, starving and has like no water and stuff, and he's covered in guts and everything. So it's pretty brutal. It looks like one of the more darker single character type of concentration episodes that we've ever had in any Walking Dead series or comic books thus far. And I'm pretty excited for Fear the Walking Dead to return, absolutely. So, I really like Fear because it just adds to it and just gives us something more to look forward to rather than having to wait all the way until October. And who knows what the show could become? This half looks really good. So, plus, we never got to see anything like the Abigail or ships, boats in and that type of landscape in the regular Walking Dead. So I think Fear really has something to add because it just gives us a totally different perspective for the zombie apocalypse. It may never be what the Walking Dead is, but it's still better than majority of AMC shows. I would say. I think personally, for me anyway, as a viewer, I like it a lot more. Justin Baker says, "Hey Trev, do you and Jess ever plan on making pancakes?" Nice. It's a good comment. I like it. Well, we'll see. It's something that we've talked about probably in a few years or something. Right now I'm pretty busy, so I don't want to add to that. I've already got more than almost anybody would handle, with any sane person would be able to handle. So I could show you statistics on that. Probably 99% of people would not do what I do. I know they wouldn't. So I'm just part of the weird 1% that's crazy and dedicated and all that stuff. So but in a few years, yeah. And who knows? Maybe if The Walking Dead ends in a few years, 3 or 4 or 5 years, I won't have as much stuff to do on YouTube. Maybe I'll have more time, and then I'll decide, okay, let's go ahead and do that now because now I have more time to help and to do stuff like that. I don't want to just give it all to her and be like, okay, if we're gonna have a baby, you just raise it or whatever, and I'm just gonna be doing my own thing. That's pretty tough to do. You got to be involved, right? So maybe in a few years, but if it happens, sometimes things just happen, right? Amy Beer, it's like fate, sort of. Amy Beer says, "Does anyone remember what Darryl's occupation was? I can't remember, but I know he tells Beth." Well, he sort of tells Beth. He doesn't really get into it too much because he doesn't really. It seems to me like he probably wasn't that successful in the regular world. He's probably does better compared to most people in the zombie apocalypse because he's able to scavenge and he's able to live with so little and really endure the hardship. It seems like but prior to the zombie apocalypse, he was just kind of a go for this, go for that, whatever, just do whatever, whatever work he's got, whatever work he can find, whatever work he can do just to get by, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what it seems like to me. Some people brought up the idea that maybe he could be like a bike mechanic or something. I think that would have been good. I think that would have made sense for Darryl to be like a bike shop mechanic or something, which is, again, Darryl is kind of like the zombie apocalypse version of Norman Reedus, just in his character badass acting form. I think that's pretty much the way I think of Darryl. And it's fun. I think he's definitely one of the best characters in the show for sure. Let's see. Okay, we'll do a couple more. Next one's from Ryan Ganadin, and he says, "Q&A, Trev, do you ever plan on auditioning for a role in The Walking Dead? If so, who?" So, no, Ryan, that's not my deal, man. That's not my thing. It was never my dream to become an actor. It doesn't really change now. Plus, also, The Walking Dead, I guarantee you they would not be down with that because, and I don't want to, this can come off as egotistical based on your question. I'm not an actor. Period. I'm not an actor. And I respect what they do. Acting is not easy. It's something that I feel like that's what, it's kind of like somebody if they wanted to come in and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna be like Trev and I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna I don't know, work on computers or something. You kind of know these things, like if you're into it or not at an early age, I feel like. And if you're somebody who's really into drama and into plays and stuff like that, those are the people that you're going to be looking at for acting. That's their thing. It's for me, it's not my thing. So I don't think so. I think it'd be egotistical of me to say that I'd be good at it. I'm not. I probably wouldn't be. But also The Walking Dead doesn't wink at their audience. So unless it was like as a zombie or something, they don't ever do that. Like there's the idea was brought up to Kirkman from Darryl. What if we have somebody go into like a movie store and pick up Night of the Living Dead or something like that, as kind of like paying respect to George Romero, who created the zombie apocalypse genre before Walking Dead, of course, and everything else we've had in between. And he said no, because The Walking Dead never winks at their audience. They never do stuff like that. It's kind of like if Robert Kirkman himself was in it, right? If Robert Kirkman himself is not in it, it's kind of like, they did do the bub zombie though, which was kind of a cool wink anyway, but the only people that would, it's not an obvious one. The only people that would know that that's a wink are people that really are hardcore zombie fans that understand Bub and understand Day of the Dead and understand these things. So, but yeah, no, I probably would never. Also, I do, I live in Canada, I have a full-time job and stuff, so I can never do that. But anyway, if any of you guys have addition for zombies or anything for The Walking Dead, you can write in the comments below. That'd be fun. I'm always interested to hear how many people live in and around the area and that, because there is, of course, like on Facebook with the Spoiling the Dead fans page, a lot of them live, it sounds like pretty close to where they film and stuff, which is cool in Georgia and that. So write your comments below if any of you guys have ever tried to do anything like that. For me, it's not really my thing. Alt Ernine says, people are going to start with Tobias from Fear the Walking Dead instead of Morales now. Oh man, he's absolutely right. That's absolutely true what people are going to do. It's going to switch from Morales to Tobias, which is just, it's like Tobias is their version of Morales. Oh man, because also the group has traveled too, so we're probably never going to see Tobias again. I would be really surprised if we did, and I almost think it wouldn't fit with the story unless they were to travel back. I mean, what are the odds that he would end up there? Like, it just doesn't make any damn sense, right, to me. So, we'll end it with this one. I really hope that that's not the case and we don't have to talk about Tobias for the next 5 years or however long Fear is on. Trev, is he going to come back this year? Do you think he's going to come back this year? Oh, man, it's going to get really annoying. But you're probably right, Alter 9. That's probably what's going to happen. That'll be it for today's Q&A. Guys, keep sending me your questions for further Q&A videos. Of course, Fear the Walking Dead coming up soon. Can't wait for it. And if you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up. You can also share. You can favorite. And if you got a Facebook you want to share through with your friends on Facebook, I appreciate that. Click the share tool at the bottom, click for Facebook, and just send it through. I appreciate that. And if you're new, subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you.